Welcome to TL Yarn Crafts TV. I'm Tony, your host. Thanks so much for joining me for this quick tutorial about the honeycomb stitch in Tunisian crochet. Be sure to stick around after the video is done for an exciting announcement about a brand new pattern you can get your hands on today to try this beautiful stitch. Hey, welcome to this tutorial about the honeycomb stitch in Tunisian crochet. You might recognize this stitch as one of the 5 simple stitches for Tunisian crochet beginners that I did in my video also here on YouTube, but I received a lot of requests to do a standalone video for this technique, so that's what we're going to do today. I absolutely love the honeycomb stitch, 1, because it is just so visually interesting, but 2, that it is way easier than it looks. I think once you've mastered the Tunisian simple stitch and some of the basics of Tunisian crochet, this is a great direction to go in for your next challenge. It uses just 2 stitches, the Tunisian simple stitch and the Tunisian purl stitch. I'll teach you both of those today to make this gorgeous stitch pattern. So this is just kind of a quick swatch that I made. I blocked it lightly. What you'll notice about the honeycomb stitch is that it doesn't curl a lot. It can still benefit from a light steam for blocking, but it doesn't curl much because you'll see while we're working it, you're actually pulling stitches forward and then you pull the next stitch backward in the work. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now, but if you've done any Tunisian crochet, you're going to be grateful that this project doesn't curl too much. So I'm going to move that to the side. I have an 8mm crochet hook and some worsted weight yarn. I always encourage with Tunisian crochet that you go up at least 2 full millimeters on your hook so you don't have any tension issues with Tunisian crochet. So the honeycomb stitch can be worked over any number of stitches. I prefer to work it over an odd number of stitches. That way your beginning of your row and your end of the row are worked in the same stitch. So we're going to start with, let's do 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So for Tunisian crochet, you're going to want to rotate to work into the back humps of your chain, and you're going to pull up a loop in the second chain from your hook and in each chain across. So you're going to go into your stitch. Here we go. Oh, almost there. Okay. Pull up a loop and leave that loop on your hook. Into the next stitch, pull up a loop, leave it on your hook, and do that all the way across until you've pulled up until the number of loops on your hook matches the number of chains that you originally created. So let's do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Perfect. So that's the forward pass of your foundation. Then we're going to chain 1 and complete the return pass of our foundation, which is to yarn over and pull through 2 all the way back. If you have questions about that, I would definitely encourage you to watch my Tunisian crochet beginners video. It's about 40 minutes long and I go through all of the absolute basics so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So now we've completed that and we have 1 loop remaining on our hook, which we always should when we complete our return pass. So what we're going to do to begin the stitch is we are going to do a Tunisian simple stitch in the first stitch. That's when you pull up a loop in the next stitch and you just leave that on your hook. Now for the purl stitch, it can be a little fiddly in the beginning, so just watch me for now, but we're going to pull the yarn to the front of the hook and then we're going to insert our hook under the next stitch, pull the yarn to the back of the hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. All right, we're going to do it again, don't worry. So we're going to do a Tunisian simple stitch in the next stitch, pull the yarn to the front for the purl stitch, insert into the next stitch, pull the yarn to the back, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Tunisian simple stitch in the next stitch. A quick little trick that I do with my purl stitches is when I insert my hook for my loop, pull my yarn to the back, I will actually hold the little knot that this creates to give myself a little bit of slack. So when I yarn over and pull through, I've given my hook some space to actually work back through the stitch. And then we're going to Tunisian simple stitch in the next stitch. So it's an alternate of Tunisian simple stitch and purl stitch all the way down your row to your last stitch. You're going to do a Tunisian simple stitch in your last stitch. So you're going to rotate your work towards you and make sure you're working under both loops of the final stitch to keep those edges nice and clean. Pull up a loop there and you have 9 loops on your hook if that's what you started with. You should always have the same number of loops on your hook at the end of your forward pass as the number that you started with in your foundation. So then we're going to chain 1, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops all the way back. all the way back to your work. So then at the end, you should only have one loop remaining on your hook. All right. Now the honeycomb stitch is a 2-row repeat. So with our last row, we started with a Tunisian simple stitch. So this row, we're going to start with a Tunisian purl stitch. So we're going to pull our yarn in front of our work here. We're going to go under the first stitch. There you are. Pull our work to the back. I'm going to hold on to that knot, yarn over, and pull up the loop. So that's the first purl stitch. We're going to follow it by working a simple stitch in the next stitch and purl in the next. And we're going to continue that down the row. So this row starts with a purl stitch and will end with a purl stitch. And that alternating of stitches in that 2-row repeat is what gives you that really distinctive honeycomb pattern. And then again, we're going to rotate our yarn towards us at the end, work under both loops, pull up a loop, chain 1, and pull through 2 all the way back to complete the return pass. So it doesn't look like a whole lot right now, but you can kind of see the bottom half. It almost looks like a little cup here, the bottom half of the honeycombs. So we can see kind of these first 3 sides of our hexagon here. And as you do subsequent rows, you kind of close out those hexagons. So I'm going to go to the next row. If you're ever unsure in the honeycomb stitch pattern what your next row should be, you can always look at the row below and see where it started. So the next stitch I'm working into is a purl stitch. So I should always be working a Tunisian simple stitch into my purl stitch and a purl stitch in my simple stitches. So since my row below started with a purl stitch, I'm going to do a simple stitch in the next. So I'm yarning over and I'm pulling up a loop into that first stitch, and now a purl goes into the next one. Yarn in front, insert your hook, pull your yarn to the back, yarn over and pull up that loop. Simple in the next, purl in the next, and repeat that across the row. It's quite simple once you get the hang of it. I know that purl stitch can be a little, ugh, and if you're a crocheter and ever tried knitting and you absolutely hate purls, don't worry. I think purls in Tunisian crochet are actually a million times simpler than in knitting. So that is nothing to worry about. It just looks a little bit different. So now I'm just completing my return pass, and I'm going to do the second row of my 2-row repeat for the honeycomb stitch. So my first stitch in the row below was a simple stitch. I can see that here. So my first stitch of this row is going to be a purl stitch and followed by a simple stitch. So you're just alternating simple and purls down the row. So that one's a purl, this one's a simple. This next stitch is a simple, so I'm going to purl it. The stitch after that is a purl, so I'm going to work a simple stitch into it. Now, like I said, this can be worked over any number of stitches. So depending on what you're making, you might need it to be a couple stitches longer, a couple stitches shorter, however many you want to. It's just easier for me, the way that I look at my work, for it to start and end with the same stitch. So this row started with a purl stitch and it ended with a purl stitch. Of course, you always work your Tunisian simple stitch in the very last stitch, of course. Then you're going to chain 1 and yarn over and pull through 2 all the way back until you have just 1 loop on your hook. And that's the Tunisian honeycomb stitch. I'm going to do a quick bind off. I always do a slip stitch bind off because I think that's the cleanest and easiest way to do it. So I am going to just insert my hook under the front loop of the next stitch, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through both loops on my hook. Regardless of whether it's a simple stitch or a purl stitch, I'm just going to insert, yarn over, and pull through both loops on the hook. And that slip stitch will close off the spaces behind the honeycombs and really give your work a beautiful finished edge that you can use to attach it to other motifs, or to create seams in sweaters or other projects, or even to just seam it closed for something like, I don't know, a hot pad or a pillow. So that is a honeycomb stitch. I hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to click around for other Tunisian crochet videos and stick around for an exciting announcement about a brand new pattern that you can get today to try out this beautiful stitch. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial on the honeycomb stitch in Tunisian crochet. I am so excited to bring you my newest pattern using this beautiful stitch. This, my friends, is the log cabin throw pillow. The pattern for this pillow is super straightforward, and I even link back to this video in case you have any questions. I made it in Bernat Maker fashion because it has gorgeous stitch definition, but you can use any category 5 bulky weight yarn for your project. You can find this pattern in PDF form in my Etsy and Ravelry shops, and you can find it on tlyarncrafts.com. Look below for links to all of my shops.